What's good, YouTube? It's your boy KFLeXin. This is the second time I'm recording this intro. I'm honest with y'all. All right, listen. We got TD Phins talking to Bill, and this is the second time of the. This is the second episode of the FLeXCast, episode 2. And we got TD here, and this is one of the most requested. Well, actually, the most requested person that you guys want to see on the channel. I'm not gonna lie to you. When I comment and I say, "Yo, who do y'all want to see on a podcast?" They say TD. Everybody says TD. I think it's because you're so controversial. I don't know if they want me to grill you or what they want me to do, but listen, they just think you're very, very controversial. And you say it's a consequence of telling the truth.
Yeah, it's a consequence of telling my truth, I guess.
Yeah,
what I believe, So
so I think I think you're interesting, and I'm gonna lie, I didn't like you at a point in time in life, but we'll get into that. I ain't gonna lie, like everybody that I like now, at some point, if I never didn't like you at a point, I probably don't like you know what I'm saying? Like I fought with everybody, like I get mad at everybody. But listen, so we want to start this off. I'm happy that you joined the channel and everything. Why do you hate Tua so much?
Well, that's a false statement. I don't hate Tua. So at the end of the day, I'm just very critical of Tua, and some people don't like that. I would rather ask people, why do they obsess over him so much?
Nah, I agree.
Because their obsession of him turns into me hating him.
So let's talk about the Jets game a little bit. What do you think about the Jets game though, as a whole?
Disappointed in the Miami Dolphins. For struggling with the Jets. I'm glad that we got the win. That's the most important thing. No matter how pretty, no matter how ugly, you got to get the W. But not a lot to be desired in that game overall. But hey, we came away with the victory. We move on to next week, man.
Man. So what about Tua's performance?
He just didn't do good at all. He had a rough game. What's that?
The second half.
You said second half?
Yeah.
Still was a rough game. Tua had a rough game overall. But he made enough plays to not lose us the game. And, at the end of the day, that's all you can ask for at a minimum. So that's what, kept it away from, because I haven't said anything really negative about his game in the last 2 days. But, I've been real silent because I'm really worried about the week coming up. And I guess we may get to that. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I'm concerned with it too because, I was concerned way before I watched them destroy Brady. I always knew it was not going to be easy.
Mm-hmm. It's not. We'll get to that, man. But this game, the Jets, I don't take nothing from it. I told people before the game, it's the Jets. I'm not impressed with them. I mean, it's nothing. I mean, we need to come out. We got 2 weeks of preparation for a team that we've already played, who's shorthanded. They were missing a lot of key players, and I'm shocked that we gave the performance that we gave.
Well, I think, maybe you just think that we're a lot better than what we are. Because like me,
no,
I'm not shocked when we beat anybody. Like
you think that you said that I think that we're a lot better than we are.
Not even that, but you have higher expectations, or you have like a because they remind. I'm just happy, like because.
They remind me, Flex, like this game against the Jets, it's the total opposite. They remind me how good they aren't, and that's what's aggravating to me.
Right.
It's the total opposite of that, man. I'm not like, oh, we're better than this. We should be, but games like this remind me, oh my gosh, we're not as good as we should be.
That's why I never really get on my high horse too much. Like you've never heard me say like, "Oh, we're definitely going to dominate it," because I already know. Like, well, I don't know, but I think we're better than we are, but I'm not sure. So the Saints game, what do you think about? What do you think? I'm concerned because Cameron Jordan obviously is really good. I mean, I'm concerned every game. I'm concerned with the Jets game. I'm concerned every single game. I've never not been concerned about a game.
This is the most concerning game. This game can be a shocker for us all in happiness or a straight disastrous blowout where we get destroyed. Let me say this, bro. I'm disappointed in Dolphins Nation after the Jets game because I sat back. KFlex, you can go to my social media and everything. I haven't said anything in 2 days, bro. I haven't responded to the game. So nobody can accuse me of, oh, Tua had a bad game. Now you want to come out, none of that stuff or anything. But I haven't said anything because I've been sitting back watching everybody. And it's just so crazy how easily we believe something off of 1 week. And let me elaborate. Let me elaborate on that. Name one of the most positive things that happened in that Jets game. The most positive thing that everybody's excited about.
What are people? We won. Like I think that's the only thing I'm happy about.
Well, what did we get out of that game that was like, oh my gosh, hopefully we can get that every week?
Oh, the running game. The running game was definitely
the running game. People are first of all, Flex, this is what's aggravating. We say if Tua had an O-line to protect him in a running game, he would be so much better. This was the first week that he's gotten that, right?
Right.
In one of his worst games ever, right?
Right.
Now, I am trying to tell Dolphins Nation, we don't have a running game. Don't let 1 week get to you because Duke Johnson ran over 100 yards, think that we have a running game. First of all, Flex, do you know what the Jets, the points average they give away every single week? What the average is?
Nah, not the points against them. No, I'm not sure.
It's 31. How many did we score, Flex?
About
31.
31. Yeah.
All we did is what everybody else does to him, okay? Second off, this whole notion that there was a Duke Johnson spark, right? People forget like 3-4 weeks ago when we played the Jets, that was Gaskin's best game. Man ran for 89 yards, right?
The Duke Johnson thing, like I understand, like he's been in the league for like 7 years and he's never been like, good. So I understand, like I'm not one of those people. Oh, we got our running back one. I'll tweet it like as a joke. I don't actually think that we have our running back one. Like, come on, bro. Like he's been in the league 7 years.
But they're thinking now we can establish the run and things will get all comfortable. This is the Jets run defense who's missing their best nose tackle. And the crazy thing is, both games. I mean, people may not know this, Flex, but in those 2 games, the first game, Gaskins was the starter, and Duke Johnson was actually his backup. Duke Johnson got the second most carries in the first game. This game, Duke Johnson started, and Gaskins got the second most carries. But what they don't know is Gaskins put up 143 yards in the 2 games combined, and Duke Johnson put up 125 in the 2 games combined. They both averaged over 4.3 yards a carry. It's the Jets. It's the Jets.
Yeah,
but we're thinking that now we got to run. No,
I'm not super excited. I'm not super excited about our run game at all. But here's the thing. I'm just excited we won, you know?
Yeah, I mean, but again, there's fashions of how you win. And people say, but yeah, we won, but you got to understand the divisional opponents are tough ones, right? But what did that have to do with the Patriots putting up 54 on them? What did that have to do with Buffalo putting up 45 on them? See, those are teams that are making the difference over a trash team. The Colts put up 45 on them, bro.
Yeah, I feel you. It's not. I don't know who's treating it like this is like our proudest win, but
that's all I'm hearing, man.
We're just happy. Yeah. The last 2 days, what I've been hearing a lot is the our offensive line looked a lot better, and I look. And I mean, it does look a little better. I see a lot of that. I see a lot of Tua's worst game, but we still won. I think I see a lot of Tua fans acknowledging that this was Tua's worst game, and I see a lot of running game. Duke Johnson's running back one, but I don't think anybody's actually. Well, maybe they are dead serious, but I don't think anybody should be dead serious about it.
Well, you don't see Tua fans. Well, you see Tua fans acknowledging this was his worst game, but add the caveat that they always got to throw in there to make people frustrated, but all he does is win.
Yeah.
So that caveat's always thrown in there regardless, even though this team is led by the defense and everybody knows it.
Yeah, it's 100% led by the defense. So, yeah, I have a question. So, I was obviously trolling about the Dolphins. You hate Tua. I know you don't hate Tua. You like Tua. Well, you're a fan, right? And you want your quarterback to play really good or really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Now, but I have a question. So, because you are like the face of the hate Tua, like let's be honest, you don't hate him, but like, come on, bro. If somebody hates Tua, they come into TD, they think you hate Tua. Like that's just a reality. You don't believe that?
I mean, I can't control that.
Right.
All
That's
I
just the
can.
audience, but you don't actually hate. Like I know, because I felt the same way back when Gaze days, Tannehill days. I've had days where I was like on the unpopular side of fucking shit. But that's why I kind of like respected your. I
I was
respected.
obsessed with Tannehill.
Yes, and that's why I
I
didn't
was
like you.
on that side.
That's why I didn't like you. Like, I respected you so much now, like, because I didn't know at the time you was just going into YouTube at the time.
Hmm.
I thought you was gonna be one of them people that I really thought the Dolphins sent you to just fucking say whatever was going to agree with the team. That's why I didn't understand you because I was like, why does he like Tannehill so much? I was like, yo, this guy got sent?
That's why I understand, Flex, why
Right.
these people have the level of obsession that they do. And that's why I understand why when you present a fact that does not make Tua look good, the only comeback they have, because in today's society, they think that this is powerful, is just label the person a hater.
Right.
That's the new weapon of today's world. Oh, he said something I don't like. You're a hater. You're a hater.
You would just say you're very critical.
I'm very critical, and
But
that's
you're not a hater.
acknowledged. I am intentionally critical because I want to appreciate his growth. I want to know what areas he's struggling in so that I can actually witness the improvement over time and
Right.
appreciate that growth started from the bottom. Now we're here. You know what I mean? So I don't want to sit here and be delusional and act like he's Brady now. And then whenever he actually becomes Brady, you know, what has
That's the thing.
changed?
Yeah, and there's some satire involved in what you do, I think. Like
And
at a certain point, because they make you out to be a hater so bad to the point where you just got to add a little bit of.
well, that's intentional. You know,
Yeah.
sometimes I do take that stick and poke it at the
Yeah,
people that call me
you
hate.
have to. You
I like
have to.
I love
But here's my question. Like, because of what you're labeled as,
it.
and I
Mhm.
don't know how much you take that into consideration, but because I look, when you watch these games, is there ever a point in your time where you're like, I was right? And, yo, because it's a struggle when, yo, you want the team to do well, but at the same time, if Tua throws 400 yards and 3 touchdowns, they're gonna call you an idiot. You know how these people talk. They're gonna call you an
Yeah.
idiot. They're gonna call you stupid. Like, and they don't keep it football. They don't keep it football. They're
Mhm.
gonna try to get
I know.
personal. They're gonna do it. So I always want, like, I always wonder, and this is why I was so scared to get in this corner where it's like, because I'm rooting for Tua, but if he plays good, I'm gonna have to be called an idiot all day for the next 4 months. Does your ego ever get in the way where you're like, I need to be right, kind of right here? Like, you want to
No,
win, obviously.
that's when you get into basically we both men. That's when you get into your grown man.
Yeah.
That's when you present your opinion. It don't make it right because it's an opinion. It's a theory. It's your hypothesis, right? And as time goes, that's why I had a famous saying: "Time always tells." Right? If
Right.
time tells me to be right, I just keep doing what I do. If time tells for me to be wrong, I just get on the right side. It's that's what
I think that's what
that's
everybody
what
has to be like. But that's the problem right now. I feel like is that people are like, oh, you
they
gotta
don't want
be
to allow
wishy.
you to.
No, yeah. And I was in a space earlier today on Twitter where everybody's like, yo, don't be wishy washy now. You were saying that Tua was this, but then if you do this, don't try to jump back on the band. That's what you're supposed. I was like, why can't you change your opinion on a player? Like as a
When you get more evidence, right, that will
right.
suggest that you should.
Like, but yeah, that's my thing. Is if you can't, this is the problem with the world right now. Well, with the fan base, I think the biggest is that people don't want to change their opinions because they don't want to be wrong or they don't want to look that
Mm-hmm.
wishy washy. So then they just have an idiot opinion and they just stick with it because they have no choice. They feel like they have no choice. I never had no ego. I don't give a damn. If I be wrong, I'm wrong. But like,
But people have to be careful with that too, because that's why sometimes long term is important, and because immediate change can skew the whole thing and bring it back forward. Now, let me give you an example. Before these 6 games, right?
right,
Even the biggest advocates of Tua, kind of without, if nobody's looking, was scratching their head a little. Even the biggest advocates. Long as nobody's looking, they're like, man, what's going on with you two? Come on, man.
nah, for sure.
Either you have struggling games and you may show a little something here and there, but now you keep getting hurt. Maybe you aren't the guy. Even the biggest advocate on the low, when nobody's looking, thinking that. Then 6 games come and he has a high completion percentage, and all of a sudden, oh, I told you so. Then yesterday happens. Well, he had a bad game, but we're still winning. You see, I mean, the temperature can change so easy out here now. This is why, at the end of the day, I deliver my analysis based off of facts, statistics, analysis, and a theory. Because the theory isn't a fact. A theory has to be proven basically off of time, data, and trial and error. And my theory, I feel like, is real sound on Tua Tagovailoa in my evaluation of him. And I haven't personally been proven wrong on that yet.
As your evaluation of Tua.
My evaluation and my theory of what he is and what his problems are now, when he could be better, if he does become better, I haven't wavered yet. Because even in the winning streak, I have been clear on what his major issues are. But the problem is, Flex, when we go on a winning streak and he put up yards and he put up completion, none of those things are in the category of the things that I say he struggled with that holds him back. Because they've created an offense that will not show you his flaws. Now, the Jets just came out and took away some of those things and made him get into a situation where he had to show his flaws. And that's where the biggest concern is. And I will say it one more time. Man-to-man coverage, send pressure, everything tight, Tua struggles. Denver, Rams, Raiders, Buffalo, every chance they get, and now the Jets in that second game. The Giants started doing it at the end of that game, but it was too late anyway. But this is a sample size of 5 teams that have done this, and no other team has done it, Flex. They've all run zone against them, and Tua is the most deadly versus zone. But it is still yet to be proven in those situations. He has always looked his worst. And I blame the front office, because if you're not going to put him in those situations more so that he can get better, he'll never see it until he get in a game and the team punch him in the face.
Okay, right. But you have seen steady improvement.
In what?
From Tua,
and
just as far as his overall quarterback play, his ability to play the position. Last year he wasn't good. He wasn't as good as he was this year.
I don't see it that way. Last year I was screaming at my TV. I was screaming at my streams during games. Stop running the pro style offense. Put them in the RPO. Because last year we would run 4 RPO plays and 6, like 1 out of 10, right? We'd run like 40% RPO and we'd run like 60% pro style. And this guy was deadly. He was like 3 out of 4 on every RPO snap. And I would yell at the screen, put him in RPO. That is our bread and butter. He cannot lose in the RPO. So we come into this year. Now we run 6 out of 10 RPO and 4 out of 10 pro style. Isn't he supposed to be better? Because you're running what it's like a basketball player, Flex. If I give Shaquille O'Neal 5 layups, he might go 5 for 5. And then if I give him 5 3-pointers, he might go 0 for 5. But if you give him 8 layups, he going 8 for 8. Woo,
okay,
3-pointers, 0 for 2.
And is there any problem with this style if it's conducive to winning?
Yeah, it's not conducive to winning. It's not long-term success.
I don't think RPOs every play is a long-term success at all.
At all. That's the problem with it. It starts to get caught up to, and there are a few teams that's built to destroy this type of format. Buffalo, the Saints, the Bucks, the Patriots, they make it tough. They kind of shut it down the first week. It's just that we shut them down too. It was a battle back and forth. Those are the type of teams. See, this offense is built to win you 8 to 10 games a season. Because you're going to beat all the scrubs. They run zone. They don't have the secondary. They don't have the personnel. But this is also built to, if you make the playoffs, you're going to get a first, second round exit every single time. Because you ain't going to beat the Saints. You ain't going to beat the Bucks.
Did you see any games like this year where we had to not run RPO and Tua failed in that situation?
Every single one of them. Well, here's the deal, Flex. We only have a few. And those were with Jacoby. Because he's a different quarterback. They can put him in a more pro style.
Tua, he hasn't really failed outside of RPO because all he runs is RPO.
Yeah, exactly. Why have they abandoned the pro style altogether? Because
we're winning.
No, they had to abandon the pro style. But think about it, Flex. We're not winning because of the RPO. Go look at how many points we're putting up a game. We're winning because of the defense. They started their
I said that
difference at the
last year.
same time we did this.
Yeah, we always been winning because of the defense. But I don't think Tua can't run a pro style. He just doesn't have to. We're winning, and I guess everybody's like, okay, well, who cares? Like, why fix something that's not broken at the moment? Well,
you do have.
Unless you think our offense is broke. Do you think our offense? Well,
okay. I'll give you the best example. Versus the Saints, he's going to have to. Let's see what happens. Because if they keep it,
yeah.
But they're not going to. That's the point, Flex. They're not going to. They're going to keep him in the RPO.
And we're going to get by 70.
And I don't know what we're going to get beat by because the only thing that say our saving grace is still we got a great defense and their offense isn't explosive.
Sucks.
So that's the only thing that keeps us in it. But that's also the point, though, Flex. Look at everybody we've been playing. Outside of the Ravens, if anybody has a halfway competent offense, we would have lost half of those games. We're talking about the Giants, the Jets twice.
We don't control who's on our schedule now.
We don't, but we still can evaluate who it is. Let's be honest.
No, our offense is definitely not. I don't know. I don't feel like our offense is so bad, but I understand it's not that good. Like I get that.
It's not bad. But in the RPO against teams that aren't good at it.
Yeah. So, but again, I guess the absence of evidence. We don't really have evidence that Tua can't do it. He just doesn't.
Well, here's your evidence. Every time, like I said, we run it about 60% of the time now.
Right.
Look at the game film. There are plays where we do pro style. And go look at the pro style plays. Most of those are your interceptions. Most of those are your misfires, overthrows. Most of those are your throw that came up short. Most of those are those plays. Most of those are your incompletions. That's what you have to go look at. That's the only sample size we have. We are so deadly in the RPO that go look at all the plays that don't work. You'll be shocked to see how many of them are not RPO. That's your sample size. That's what you got to go look at. And you'll see a picture that be like, wow, every time we don't run a pro format, it gets tight. We're like 75% on an RPO format, and we're like 40% on a non-RPO format.
All right. So, yeah, I definitely see what you're saying, but I personally just have to see more evidence. And as long as we're winning, you're not going to find me complaining.
The Saints will be your evidence.
Yeah, we're not going to see me complain too much as long as we're winning. Like, about anyway. But, like, again, I know our offense is not strong at all. Like, it's not. Anybody that says we're winning because our offense is a lie. So I do want to switch up the little subject a little bit. We'll talk about just you a little bit, your channel. So at what point did you really feel like, okay, because you got a lot of love. I always love, always the hate. At what point, but I feel like it was a time where you were just like, it was the Miami Miracle time. You was just like the favorite fan. Like, everybody just, TD was that guy when that Miami Miracle shit. I was jealous too, I ain't gonna lie. They never sent me no football. Fuck this. Listen, I was like,
no, that wasn't the Dolphins. That was CBS.
I was like, man, they never sent me no football. I said, I've been doing it for 3 years. I wasn't doing it for 3 years, but I was like, damn, they never sent me no football. I was like, damn, I gotta work harder. But anyways, at what point, kind of, because I feel like, you still got a lot of love. You got the most love. Like, the love always outweighs the hate. But at what point did it kind of turn to, okay, does dislike getting up, shit like that coming up, arguing a lot more? When did that start kicking in?
I would say a year and a half ago, almost 2 years ago. See, I'm only 3.5 years in, I guess. Right. And about 2 years, let's just say 2 years ago, because we used to do the round table panels. And like I said, not 2 years ago, 1.5 years ago, we all had our opinions. We all had our evaluations of the draft. And I've been consistent ever since day one. Like, even with Tua, I wouldn't draft him at 5. 9 or lower, I would, because the injury. And there were players that I think we could have hit on that would have been more effective for us. That was at the time. Right. But I look at it as it's still going that way, because in that first year and a half, where it was all that love of CBS Sports, the Dolphins sending me tickets to come to games and all of that stuff. It's crazy because during that time, that's when I first started, and I only gained like 3,000 subscribers on the channel. I was only around like 3,000. But when we drafted Tua, all the, controversy and stuff that rookie year, it actually was crazy because I think we added like 8,000.
Yeah.
That 8,000. And no. We added 7 because last year we added 8. This year, I think there's been this big hit in the whole community because the way we started was a huge deflection for everyone. It was a frustration. Some people went dormant. Some people are still dormant. Did that 1-7 start? Some people are still like, yeah. All they're gonna do is get up to the end just to lose one of the games they need.
Yeah.
Go Dolphin. But again, it's still moving where it's still a lot of love because
it's always love always our way.
I always gauge the love off of growth, and that's something that just it still hasn't stopped, and going all the way back from 2.5 years ago at 3,000, now being 19, it's just love. So the thing is, what you can't control, and say this, a lot of people appreciate my harsh honesty too. Some people say, bro, I subscribe. The reason why I subscribe to you because you tell it how it is, no matter how rough it is to hear. And I don't agree with everything, and there's a lot that I agree with, but you tell it how it is. And some people hit me up and say, sometimes I think your takes are the most ridiculous, and then we look up 4 months later and you were right. And I'm not setting out to be right, Flex. I'm just setting out to give my opinion based off of data and analysis on what I've seen based off of our history. And I can change my tone and be wrong anytime. Like last year, they called me a flip-flopper. They said 1 week you're praising Tua.
I think that's the worst thing fans call other fans flip-floppers.
Yeah, but that's the messed up part about it because a real objective fair person, they're going to tell you what they saw from a player that day, right?
Right.
So if Tua balls out today and I praise him, which is fair, and that means you're not hating, right? Right. And then if he plays bad and you said, oh my gosh, this was a trash performance, you're supposed to call it out, right? And the next week, if he plays fair, you know what? I'm not mad at him. I thought it was fair. Now you're a flip-flopper. So I start telling people, if I'm a flip-flopper, that means Tua's a flip-flopper because I only go the direction that he goes.
Yeah. That's it. The flip-flopping term is just terrible because it's like saying Austin Jackson looked good last week. So I'm supposed to be like, Austin Jackson is a B. Like, oh, if you didn't like Austin Jackson, you can't like him no more. Like, I'm like, no, bro. If he played terrible, you played bad. I'm gonna say it. If you played good, you played good. So the flip flopping term I think is like the worst shit I've ever heard. What else I want to talk about? Let's talk about the beef I had with you. You didn't have no beef with me. It was a one-way beef, but I had beef with you internally. The issue I had with you, I liked you, and then when Xavien Howard, when you was calling for Xavien Howard to get traded.
Oh, is that what it was about?
Yes. It was the whole thing. That's all it was about. It was literally everything. I liked you, and then when Xavien Howard was our only good player on our whole team, and you were saying, Xavien Howard needs to go, and oh my goodness, I was so angry at that time. I don't get angry that much anymore. I'm grown now, but like I was like 20. I was grown then, but I was so fucking angry. I was like, there's no way he's saying this.
And I kept driving that narrative.
And you was going crazy. And I think I unfollowed you on Twitter and everything. Like, I've never been that mad before ever. But I've been mad like that at Dougley before, too. I've been mad at everybody. Trust. Like, I get mad at everybody. But, like, now I'm calmer. But that was the beef I had with you. Because it was all over Xavien Howard. I was just like, bruh, it's no way he's saying we need to trade our best player when we have nobody to go on the team. But I feel like the roundtables you used to run, I feel like a lot of people came from them. Like, a lot of Dolphin people I would never known. Like, I only knew you. I still damn near only know you, Dougley, and you. So a lot of people from the roundtable. Do you feel like I feel like you gave a voice to a lot of people?
Yeah.
And I think that was one of your greatest contributions. And I think the live streaming thing. I think you were the first one doing the live streaming during the Dolphin games. I think that was amazing too. I always wanted to copy it, but I didn't want to do it after you did it. And also, I don't react like how you react during the game. I literally just watch the game. Like, people probably think I'm just being there like going crazy. I just watch the game and I'll react afterwards.
That's how I normally am though, because I be in the games. I like everything. I'm just because they screwed my nerves for the rest of my life. This team.
But I mean, honestly, you've kind of like sacrificed, I guess, your piece of being able to like watch the game and just like.
It's a solo dolo, yeah.
I kind of enjoy that a little bit. Like I'd be able to watch the game and just be
Mm-hmm.
able to kind of tune out everybody, just watch my team play. You haven't felt that feeling in about 4 years, 3 years.
Yeah, not a single one. Even when I go to the game, I got the phone in my hand and I'm streaming live.
I can't. That's not how I can. And that's why I respect you so much because I can't do that. There's no way. I gotta be able to enjoy it. I went to the Bengals game. They're like, "Can you vlog?" I'm like, "Bruh, I gotta watch the game. I like really just like watching the game."
Yeah, I get it. Xavien Howard, bro.
What about Xavier Howard?
You were mad about the Xavien Howard take.
I don't know if you know. I don't comment on other YouTube videos, but I commented on one of your videos. I'm like, bro, this is the stupidest thing ever. I hate when people do that to me. That's why I don't do it to other people. But I did it to you because I was so angry. You don't understand. But like I was like, do you know the old me? Like I always used to be a lot more angrier than I am now. I'm like calmer now. and like after a while, like, I stopped going to your stream. I'm like, bro, this because there's a trickle down effect, TD. When you say stuff. You got influence. They come to my channel.
They come in, they harass.
They would do and
that's something we learn.
TD, you got a lot of power, like you have a lot of I don't want to say power, but you have a lot of like influence. Among because sometimes I'll be on Twitter and then like it would be something that only you said and everybody would be tweeting, why do Dolphin fans think like this? And it would be something only you said. They'd be like, Dolphin fans hate TD. That's what I'm saying. You're like the spokesperson for a certain group of people, and I don't even know if you know how much like people take your takes and they'll just like run with those shits, even if they're just your opinion. And it's like when I ain't
gonna lie. I would have been oblivious to this about 2 months ago.
Right.
But just the last 2 months, trust me, I get it. Let me tell you why. Because I go on Twitter. I don't go on Twitter for no other purpose than to troll to ears. Ain't nothing. I always tell Ball Game because he always replying to my Twitter stuff. I say, Ball Game, how many times I got to tell you don't take nothing I say on Twitter serious? But he reads it and it still bothers him. And, but I start to see how just what I tweet can influence so many people.
It's crazy.
And they think that that's a real opinion and they go with it just because I go with it. So trust me, I'm starting to understand that. But I can't let you run, bro. I got to get back on this Xavien Howard, man.
What is about go ahead? Because I still don't agree with what you saying. We should
remember, and that was about 3 years ago, right?
Right.
What has been the benefit of spending $15 million a month, knowing that we were going to be rebuilding? I mean, a year. You know that by the time we're Super Bowl ready, he ain't gonna be on this roster, right?
When are you saying? You're saying we're not Super Bowl ready for the next 2-3 years?
No, I mean I honestly think this is his last year, based off of what happened in the offseason because him wanting more money. Remember everything that we went through, and then they said, well, we'll seriously look at the contract next year, and if we can't get it done, we'll potentially trade you. And they almost had a trade done. I don't know if you noticed at the deadline with the Baltimore Ravens. Well, Greer wanted 2 first, and they just wouldn't do it.
Right.
So my only thing was it wasn't Xavien Howard's skills because his skills we would have been betting on. I didn't, for one, want to waste a rebuild years on a player making that much money for one, and for two, still not knowing the injury situation because it was still in flux at that time. It wasn't about just him. It was the simple fact that we're about to be rebuilding for 3 years and you're going to pay him $45 million just to be a guy that we can love. And that ain't going towards our future, our dynasty.
At that time, the rebuild seemed longer than it was. We didn't even rebuild that long.
Well, are we done?
We should be, but it don't look like it.
So we're winning the Super Bowl this year.
If everything had came to plan and Will Fuller didn't just decide not to play, yeah.
What you're saying to me is Tua Tagovailoa was expected to lead us to a Super Bowl this year.
I promise you, TD, before the season started, I actually thought we had a real chance. Am I delusional? Because listen,
I mean that's fair. I see. We all thought.
Because look, okay, our defense was elite, right? And I thought, okay,
Uh-huh.
we're growing defense, right? Our defense is straight. That's not what we're about. Offense, problem. Tua in his second year, he can only get better because his rookie year wasn't that good. I was like, Tua's gonna get better. Our receiving weapons were insane before the season. Will Fuller, Jalen Waddle, Devontae Parker. That looks insane on paper. Mike Gesicki is impossible to guard. And then I'm looking at our offensive line, and I'm wondering why we didn't change anything. But I said, fuck it, I trust Flores. And so I'm like, okay, yeah, Austin Jackson must have got a lot better because we didn't draft Panay. So I'm like, all right, and so that's my thought process
I get
right
it
there.
because we operate off of this assumption that Tua's flaws last year had nothing to do with him,
and this is what you
but
got
what
to
was
consider.
around him.
Titty, look, we signed. Why would we sign Will Fuller to a 1 year, $10 million deal if we didn't think this was the year? This had to be the year. I feel like
We signed Will Fuller to a $10 million deal because he was playing Agent Zero.
What do you mean, Agent Zero?
For a blockbuster trade.
Oh, you think I get what you're saying. So you think?
I mean,
oh, I got you. Well, that's a conspiracy.
Okay,
but I'm not quite sure. But I feel like you don't just make these 1 year deal you don't make a deal like that unless you like this is the year we're pushing. Like, okay. So regardless, even if that was what we were planning for,
but again, everybody's making the assumptions that the issues for Tua last year had to do with everything around him and not him.
Our receivers were our receivers were terrible last year. TV, come on.
But yeah, that's right. Whatever element you want to bring into it. The problem is everybody put Tua's struggling culpability on everybody but him. It could have had something to do with the O-line. It could have had something to do with the receivers. But where Dolphin fans mess up is we ignore how much was him. We just automatically say when we fix those, it won't be him until you fix those and it is him. And then you scratch your head like, time tells. I am again, Flex. Why were they trying to make a trade in the offseason? This wasn't just the trade deadline, bro. They were trying to make that trade before the draft until all that information came out. Why were they trying to do that?
I guess we thought we was getting Deshaun.
They knew they were
until.
If
that's the case, I'm not gonna lie to you. Everybody needs to get fired because that's a horrible process to try.
But you can't. How can you fire people when the person that fires is the main one wanting it to happen?
We're a fucking disaster. If that's the case, we're a disaster. Like I'm just.
Well, you can say we're a disaster, but if these allegations didn't come and Deshaun Watson was leading this
team,
they
were already here. Like come draft time, these aren't like new.
No. These allegations came this offseason.
Yeah, but during the draft, we didn't know about these allegations.
No. They were going to pull the trigger once the league year opened, like March 16th or whatever it was. Those things hit around that time simultaneously.
Right. So if the draft is in April and those allegations hit in March, and you're trying to plan your future around, hoping these allegations aren't true, that's a terrible process. Don't you agree?
No. Well, they still tried to get him at the deadline, right? They just told him, "Hey, we need you to do this." I mean, regardless, it's in the works, Flex. And no matter how people want to slice it, they're gonna keep kicking the can down the road, and they're gonna keep on looking at Tua, saying, "Oh, they're not even gonna be looking at watching now in the offseason." Time always tells, bro.
Yeah,
there's too much evidence in everybody's face to keep on ignoring this.
No, there's definitely something going on. Like, if you're acting like it's not something going on, I don't know if there's anything going on anymore, but it definitely was something going on. But, like, now, I'm not quite sure, but...
Positive, 1,000% positive. It's happening.
You still think it's happening 100%? Or not 100%?
It has to, because what people need to understand is the Dolphins don't care about a high completion percentage. The only thing they're focused on is what does Tua struggle in.
But they should be focused on winning, and that's what we're doing.
Yeah, but they feel like that's going to be the answer, whether we want to deny that or not. See, that's what they are focused on, Flex, winning. And they know that Tua has certain limitations, and we keep ignoring those limitations. He is a good quarterback and could be really good. But will he ever be top 5? And that's the difference. The Albert Wilson throw on Sunday. Will he ever be able to make that on the run without planting his feet? Will he ever make that special throw, running to his left, and while he's running, cock back, throwing the Albert Wilson down the sideline without him having to stop and come back and the defender catches up to it? And you know what's even crazier about it? Do you remember that Mac Hollins touchdown earlier this season where he threw it 50 yards? He was wide open.
Yeah, for sure.
You remember that? I said, beautiful pass. We got a touchdown. I'm happy. My only concern with Tua Tagovailoa is he put everything he had into it, and the receiver had to turn around, slow down, and wait on it. I said, if that was tighter coverage, you need to make that same perfect throw. But I don't know if that throw wouldn't have worked in tighter coverage. That's what I'm concerned about in Tua. Oh, you're just hating. I said, guys, in the real playoffs, you're not going to have 20 feet open. That's going to be 6 feet, and that throw is going to be picked off, or the defender's going to catch up when you play a decent defense or somebody who actually covers that better. And that was a prime example on that Albert Wilson play. The exact same thing, might I add. Go look at the 2 plays. The exact same thing. But the openness was only about 8 feet versus 20, and the ball allowed the defender to catch up. That's the difference. They know the limitations of this kid.
I think this is why I don't know if you could ever be deterred from your thinking, is because you don't think that Tua's, like, you haven't said that Tua's improving. And if you don't think if Tua's improving, then I guess you don't really, there's nothing that nobody can really tell you. Because
No. It's how you look at improvement. So once again, KFLeXin, Shaquille O'Neal, I gave it to you earlier. If you give him 10 plays, 5 layups, 5 3-pointers, he goes 50%. If you give him 8 layups, 2 3-pointers, and he goes 80%, did he improve?
Individually, no, but I think you got to add more context to that story. You got to add more context.
No. There's no more context, because all they're doing is putting him in a system that he's great at.
Okay, so let me add more context. Okay, now if Shaquille O'Neal is shooting those layups and his team's winning and he's down,
Either way, I'll do you one better. 5, I'll do you one better. They could be winning. They could be winning either way. But all I'm saying is, see again, we keep on. This is the biggest thing that is hurting our community, is this thought process that quarterbacks are the winners of a game. Just because the media says, well, that's all they talk about, that doesn't make it right. I mean, I want you to really think about this. There was a game this year that Tua came in and he actually played well. I think he replaced Brissett, but we didn't need none of it. We were already up, and the defense shut the team out for the rest of the game. Right. We make it seem like, well, we're winning games. We ain't win a single game more than a touchdown. We ain't win a single game more than a touchdown. And this is the Josh Allen Buffalo Bills effect. Who cares if you get into the AFC Championship game just to get blowed out because one team exposed your flaws? Like, you want to hoopra all year. Oh, yeah, we dominated them. We dominated the other trash team. Oh, this team can't match up with us. But every time you run into that team that actually can play your flaws well, you have zero experience executing your flaws and getting better at them, and you get blown out. We're fine with that. Why are we fine with that as fans?
You're taking more than one step at a time. I think you're like we're trying to take one step at a time. You're over here like zooming past everything. You're talking about Super Bowl.
But the problem is, FLeX, if what I said ends up happening, just because I see it before everybody else, what they got to do with me? I'm just trying to tell you what I see.
But you'll never get that credit like that. But that would be great if you saw it before everybody else. But
I do, and this is what I'm talking about. Just like with the Laramie Tunsil situation, I called that crap out 4 months before it happened. I said Laramie Tunsil can be traded too. If you look at this, you look at that. Man, you know how many subscribers I lost off of saying that about Laramie Tunsil?
That was your A+ moment. I feel like my A+ was the Gase thing. I think your A+ moment was the Laramie Tunsil. I think that was That was a good. That was
Do you know how many subs I lost off of the Laramie Tunsil comments that this man could be traded? Bro, I took so much backlash from the Laramie Tunsil situation. And what ended up happening? My thing is, people can take it one step at a time, but I feel like I'm so far ahead of that, man. I see this stuff happening. No. I know this Saints game, man. Come holler at me next week.
Oh, I want to, trust me. But so let me ask you: is what in a perfect world, I guess, what do you see like us doing with Tua this year that could make you change your mind? Because like you don't want us to change our offense when we're on a 7-game win streak, do you?
No. We said that's why it's over. Because if they're not going to invest in his development, because again, Flex, they put him in a bottle. NFL quarterback has to be able to do many things, and what they did is they said, screw all of that. Let's just put him over here in this section that we know he can operate well so we can try to win games. We just need him not to turn the ball over, defense play good football, and we're going to try to win games. What about all the other things that you need to do to be a great quarterback in this league? They have stopped even trying them. You have to look. I went to camp for 9 days, bro, and they ran zone all 9 days against this man. And I'm like, where's the man-to-man so that he can struggle and learn from it? Where is the man-to-man? Any man-to-man concept, sending pressure, Tua Tagovailoa is going to turn the ball over, throw it anyway, even if it ain't there. I've been saying that for years. The only reason it hasn't been proven much is because all these teams running zones. I say Tua, some of his greatest throws, what people don't realize is he's not reading the defense. He's just throwing it because that's what he's supposed to do in practice. My guy's supposed to be there. I'm just throwing the ball. I'm not reading the defense. He just throws it. It's beautiful, just like practice.
Like a one-read thing. I hear a lot of people calling one-read Tua.
You know what? I took away that one-read stance because it's not his fault it's one read. It's our offense. And it's actually a 2-read. It's a 2-read. You know, if the one ain't there, he goes to the second one. But he don't even know how that's covered. That's why I get jumped. Bro, that pick that you saw, that pick 6 Flex, you should have knew that was coming from the Giants game. If you look at the end of that Giants game, we ran that same little RPO style, Albert Wilson in motion. Albert Wilson does one or two things. He goes in the flat or he runs the wheel. And underneath, you got Parker on a slant. Tua's job is hike the ball, see if the slant is going to be there. If it's not there, he hit the flat because he's trying to draw that linebacker to Parker instead of the flat. So if the Parker ain't there, that means that linebacker went back instead of going in the flat with Albert Wilson. So it should be open. The problem is now teams are not just sending one linebacker in the flat, they're also sending another linebacker over or the defensive end. So in the Giants game, Tua hiked the ball in the fourth quarter, went back to Parker, went up and put it back down because he saw it was covered and just threw it to Albert Wilson. Luckily, it was tipped at the line of scrimmage, and the defender was like, because he was running past for the pick 6. In the Giants game, I said, they're going to get those. And sure enough, we come back to the Jets. You look at that slant, not there, goes across, didn't even look. Just do it. Because Tua's going off of what is supposed to be there versus reading a defense. I ain't expecting people to notice this. They're going to call me a hater for that take, but man-to-man coverage exposes
you've
this
seen
stuff.
This in this game, you know, since college.
I saw it in college because, bro, you think it's coincidence that 2 college players after big games that they beat Tua in came out on a podium in front of the world and said the same thing? We already know how to beat Tua. Clemson, I think it was Clemson after their game, or LSU. They on the podium celebrating. Yeah, you know, we already knew how to beat Tua. You know, don't be manipulated by his eyes with the safety. And if the guy isn't open and he's gonna go that way, don't be fooled. He's coming that way. He's gonna throw it anyway. Now you've got like 4 players in the NFL saying the same thing, and everybody, they hate you.
They get a lot of hate by other players. But so here, what do you think made these quote unquote experts so infatuated with him? Whereas at one point he was a generational talent. I don't think anybody thinks he's generational anymore. But like what does he do super well? I guess what is like different about him that made him top 5 or really top 1 if he never got hurt?
That's where people ignore the truth. There are professional analysts that are actually had the same pre-draft analysis, Flex. They said, but here's what the final thing was with Tua in his pre-draft analysis. There's a lot you don't know because you've never seen him in the situation. Have you seen tight coverage man-to-man at Alabama?
Definitely not Alabama because they can't guard. Nobody can guard none of them receivers.
Have you seen him under pressure in Alabama consistently?
Well, I mean, that's every quarterback at Alabama. Every quarterback is elevated at Alabama.
But here's the scary part of quarterbacks like that. So you got a kid who has so many intangibles. He has a crisp arm. He can get the ball from A to B. Everybody says he's accurate, right, Flex?
Right.
What is accuracy? Completion percentage or ball placement? Or a combination of both?
Ball placement, really? But, I mean...
Tua struggles with ball placement. He gets a lot of completions where guys jump off his feet, reach behind him. Do you see our own receivers pouting about where he places the ball? He struggles with ball placement, but pre-draft, and I still hear analysts today on national television, he's just so accurate with the football. Because they don't even watch his games. They go say he was 80% completion. He's so accurate. Yeah, that's all they do.
They don't have time to watch every NFL game, and they're not going to watch the Dolphins.
I saw these at Alabama, KFlex, a guy coming across the middle, wide open, reaching back to catch it. But since he was wide open, he could still turn upfield. In my head, I'm like, okay, he found his guy. I don't like the ball placement in the NFL. That can be batted down when tight coverage. That was just my take. And as I'm watching film of him in college, I'm seeing a lot of that. So I never said this is his issue. I said this could be his issue because I don't have a large enough sample size from college to know if it's a real issue or not. So now we come in the NFL. Why don't you show me a game, Flex, where a team ran man-to-man, tight coverage, sent pressure, that you've seen any level of success? Keep looking.
Well, last year, this is why we get into this whole 360, because last year our receivers were so terrible that I guess we just kind of said, and you can admit, even if you say Tua, you could attribute it to both of them, but our receivers were not good. That's a fact.
Yeah, but Flex, that's the problem. When you go on the all 22 and you watch the film, you see guys right in his eye path, right in his face, wide open. We always talk about our receivers, but every week on film, you're watching people wide open. Wide open.
And I defer to you on those type of things because I don't watch the most film. So that's why I kind of like listen to you, people like that really watch films that I could really learn.
But Flex, Tua keeps saying it himself.
That
he's critical. He just had but does that make him not right? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
People always say, "Oh, Tua's just being critical of himself," so that just makes him not true what he's saying. I mean, the man just had a bye week and had all that time to watch film. They interview him right fresh off the bye, and the first thing they ask him is about how good he's been. And the first thing comes out of his mouth, well, I've been looking at it and I have to do a better job. I'm missing people underneath, intermediate, over the top. It's wide open guys that I'm missing on the field. He said it himself, especially the game where I talked about his ball placement. That Giants game, I said Tua's ball placement was not good in that game, but I liked the game. Oh, you a hater. 10 minutes later on the field with the interview, oh, how have you had all the great chemistry with your receivers? This is his face squint. I have to do a better job with ball placement, but I'm a hater. I'm just calling it what it is. People want to ignore his flaws and overpraise his good and make people out to be a hater. I am trying to evaluate this guy real talk so I can know if he's really my future. Because how many teams have been fooled over adequate enough, but they may not be the future? You end up doing 7 years with people like that.
We did it. With your guy.
But we don't learn. We insane.
No. I mean, I definitely feel what you're saying. Is maybe you're on some Miko ground. Like she's like, yeah, you have to have a top 5 quarterback to be any decent or something. Like you're like one of those. You have to have a super elite quarterback to be good.
That's arguable. Depends on the how your team is built.
Okay.
Tua ain't got to be top 5. If he was top 10, I would love to have him as our quarterback. I think he's hovering around the 16 range now, and that ain't bad, bro. It's not bad at all.
No, it's not bad at all.
I like what I see in Tua, but I'm feel like, and my gripe with Tua ain't got nothing to do with Tua. It has something to do with the coaching staff. I feel like I would rather, if he's going to be our future, I would rather us scrap this format, allow him to struggle every week in a pro style format so he can get better.
And then so that costs us a potential playoff berth. You're fine.
We ain't winning the Super Bowl anyway, bro. I mean, that's what it comes down to. If you think you're gonna win the Super Bowl, okay. But if you know deep down inside we're not winning the Super Bowl, it's more beneficial for him to get the kinks out. Because you know what, Flex? Let me just say this, bro. If next year you decide to open it up and now he's going through his struggles and he's gonna get better at it. Oh, he's gonna be crucified. That will be his last year. Yeah. You see, but am I wrong? Imagine going through saying we're going to open up the playbook, allow him to develop. That's going to come with mistakes. It ain't going to look pretty. We might even lose games next year. Oh, my gosh.
Also, take consideration these people's job security in themselves. So you got to think they got to, hey, listen, if Brian Flores comes out here because he's trying to develop Tua and goes 1-15, then what? Or 1-16?
That's why they trading him. That's why they trading him, because guess what? Their job is on the line next year, and they know that he ain't fully developed in other areas that they ain't even working on. They're not even working on.
We're gonna see it today. I don't know. I would be interested to talk after the Saints game though, for sure.
Yeah. I'm gonna be looking for you.
Yeah. So and don't think do I sound like a Tua like apologist? Because I'm not. I'm just
no.
I just don't. We just disagree on a couple things, but like we agree on most of the things, like especially with the fan base.
But time always tells.
It does. So I just want to ask you one more question, and then I'm gonna get out of here.
All right.
What's I see you have like the TD like where are you going with the channel? Because I see you had like TD Titans, TD. You know what I'm saying? You was doing a lot of stuff. Like, was you trying to create a whole network?
Yeah, I am right now. From a just like you be busy all the time.
Yeah.
I have to let my personal life catch up to my business life, and my son. He's still home. So, and where we live, we don't trust him out, especially with everything going on with the virus and all of that stuff. Right. So he starts school this year, and I'll have the time and attention that I need to actually build that. I'm trying to create a sports network where I'm bringing all sports, because I'm a Dolphins fan, but at the same token, should that limit me from being Stephen A. Smith?
1,000%. I'm always going. I know I'm gonna be bigger than what. Yeah, 100%.
Yeah. So those guys can have a favorite team, but they can talk all sports. That's why I don't understand. Even I get kickback from Dolphin fans. Oh, how could you dare have so they're allowed to have a sports network, but I can't talk all sports?
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like people don't really like change until they like change. You know what I'm saying? Like when you start doing something new, you're gonna get a whole bunch of hate, and then next thing you know, people are gonna love it. You know, I'm learning that too. That's what I'm trying to do for 2022. But y'all see now.
So I got the vision. That's what I'm trying to do, man. So
yeah, man. That's so anyway, do you have anything that you want to shout out before we get up out here? Like, where can the people find you? Somebody told me. I didn't ask Miko that. They're like, oh, why you didn't ask about upcoming projects? I was like, well. So any upcoming projects or where?
You can go check out the OnlyFans. So that'll be dropping. You
don't got no OnlyFans.
Huh?
You said OnlyFans.
Yeah.
For what? Dolphin content? I hope so.
You know what? I started that joke on the channel, but it's funny to me. You know why I really say that?
What?
Because our mind is so programmed to think one thing, but OnlyFans can be OnlyFans for anything. It ain't really just that, even though that's primarily what it is. I don't have OnlyFans, but I just always say that joke.
The masculinity in me won't allow me to buy. You better put it on Patreon or something, because I just won't. Even if I can't.
I'm just messing around, man. No, man. I'm really trying to get through this holiday season. My what you can expect coming forward is more so podcast stuff like that from my personal life. So I'm going to be doing a podcast more so geared towards my personal life with faith, family, and football. And outside of that, building the network and continuing to grind the way that I am and taking care of the family, man. And Merry Christmas to everyone.
For sure, cause everybody bigger than the Dolphins. We got a Dolphin channel, but it's other stuff outside. Everybody want to, it's more purposeful stuff too that we can talk about.
Exactly.
So it's gonna be
exactly.
So get in the comments. Let me go. Like, comment, subscribe. Road to 11K anyway. Thank you, TD, for coming on the channel. You never had to do this.
Trade X, man.
Trade X. That was the worst thing you ever seen in your life. Anyways, it's your boy KFLeXin. I'm out.